Hey friends. My unusual location today is my parents' backyard up in Santa Fe. Beautiful little place to be, beautiful evening. We get sunsets out this way, so life is good. I turned 47 yesterday, and a birthday tends to be a time to reflect and to, I've actually been given some exercises by, for one thing, Arthur C. Brooks in his podcast with Tim Ferriss talks about some exercises that he does annually, taking a look at basically where does he feel like he's headed? Where does he feel, how in alignment are his goals, intentions, actions, feedback from other people? And I have not done any of those yet, mostly because our day was just a busy day. It was a typical Saturday morning, and then we came up here, and then there was a bit of drama in the evening where my father fell and cut his hand, and we ended up in the ER. Nothing overly dangerous or nothing overly bad, but enough to to mean that we couldn't just have a nice easy dinner together. And so I have that ahead of me. I have those exercises ahead of me. I've actually maybe even got some time in the next day or so that I can devote to really thinking about, I've spoken quite a bit over the last few months about feeling like I'm in a period of transition, and some of that is embracing where I really am, and some of that is, I think, actually maybe making some changes. So anyway, but what showed up for me, the other thing I did yesterday was we hadn't slept real well. I hadn't gotten rest for it's been a couple of weeks that I've felt like I haven't really, but I'm sure this includes Katie, haven't really gotten great rest. We just haven't been sleeping all that well. And variety of reasons for that, but I found myself wearing down. So yesterday, I pick up Annalise and I go to sort of swing her around in a way that I often do, and I feel a little twinge in my back. And I was like, uh-oh. Went and did it. And it just, I know at this point, it's like just this little thing that happens. It tends to happen sort of in the right, sort of around my kidney area on the right side. I don't think it's actually my kidneys. I think it's a muscular thing. But anyway, I've had it happen a number of times over the years, and it used to scare me. It used to be the kind of thing where I'd feel like, oh, something is wrong with my back. I need to make sure I don't hurt it worse or whatever. But I know better now. Now I know that I just need to stretch it out, that I can kind of push through it. Not that I want to go and do anything extreme or damage it further, but I know better than to believe the pain signal, to believe that the pain signal is genuinely an inhibition. It doesn't really inhibit me. It just costs me energy, and have to be a little careful with myself. So I was like, welcome to 47. Welcome to the next year. Your body's kind of letting you know, hey, we're aging. But out of this experience for the last day or so, I've also drawn what feels like a pretty powerful lesson in terms of what I just said, not knowing better than to take pain at face value, knowing better than to think that because I'm experiencing pain, that means there's a problem. It's actually really empowering to realize pain is just a signal of something in your body or in your mind or your emotions or whatever, but pain is just a signal. With a little bit of wisdom and with a little bit of self-knowledge, we can decide what to do with that signal, and it does not always mean drawing the conclusion that something's wrong. So yeah. So I've been sitting with that today because as I woke up this morning really stiff, tried to do yoga. I did my yoga really stiff, not fun, but I did it. And as I did it for longer, I was like, oh, right. This is letting up already. It's already in the process of letting up. I just need to keep going. And that notion that pain, and the other thing is that pain, when we understand it that way, pain becomes an opportunity. Pain becomes a gift. It becomes a portal. It becomes a way to access more presence. And that's sort of incredible, isn't it? That pain can be something. Initially pain feels horrible. Who wants pain? But then once we get to know it, it's like, oh, right. You're simply telling me something, and of course I tend to think that there's a deeper communication going on than just the immediate physical issue. But because right beneath it, there is access to our emotional world. I found myself lying in bed yesterday. I was putting Annalise down for a nap, and all of a sudden, I've been looking at a screenplay that I've been asked to give some feedback on, and it was like it all fell into place for me. I was like, I get it. Crystallized. Totally saw the thing that's going on. And it's not that the pain caused that, but in a weird way, the pain opens a door into a space of presence. And it's funny, this is something Arthur Brooks says too. You don't want to get rid of your unhappiness, and you don't want to get rid of your painful experiences. They're part of life. Not only are they part of life, they're where depth comes from. Depth doesn't come from just being happy. It comes from being in these spaces and states that might be challenging, but that connect us with life. And it's really interesting that how that's happened in the last 24 hours, watching this issue with my father, but also having my own sort of, having received kind of a blow in the morning, my back twinging up on me, and then certainly feeling my age. But pain is an opportunity. Pain is an opportunity to be more present, to be more alive. We just have to allow it to be that. There's an incredible portion of Sadhguru's book where he talks about having been injured in a motorcycle accident, or something happened, I forget. I think it was a motorcycle thing. Something sliced his leg way open and he needed to get it stitched up. And he went to a clinic and they had no anesthetic. He said the doctor said he can't do it because he didn't have any anesthesia. And Sadhguru said, "I need you to. You've got to do it. I have to get on my way. You have to sew this up with no anesthetic." And he just lies there and carries on a casual conversation with the guy as he's being stitched up. And he said the pain was blinding and incredible, overwhelming. But he was present for it, and his presence was larger than the pain, so it could contain it. You know, and these are experiences and things that I sort of, when I read them, I'm kind of awestruck and inspired by them, because they're basically they represent a kind of commitment to using every experience, no matter what it is, to increase consciousness, to wake up. So I've had a little of that going on. That's where I am today, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.